Hello, happy 4th of July, everyone. Got my red and my white and my blue shoes. It's my patriotism for the day. I wanted to talk about bass guitar today because that's what I do. And I wanted to talk about specifically the name of the bass guitar and why that's kind of fun and interesting. And just kind of a philosophy behind, or several philosophies you can take about playing the instrument. And so anyway, I have my babies here. I don't know if you can see them, but you've kind of got the big guy here, a bass, and then the little guy, a guitar. And then in the middle, it's kind of like their baby, the bass guitar. And there's kind of the idea of playing the bass, which I think is associated a lot with the relationship with the drums and the bass drum specifically, as well as the snare. And a lot of bass lines are constructed entirely based on that relationship. And that's where most of the groove in a song comes from, is a really strong relationship between that bass guitar and the bass drum. And then you can also look at it as just a guitar, where you'll hear that a lot in heavy metal music or some hard rock, where there's a riff and the bass is playing the same thing. And punk, actually, you see that a lot, where the bass is playing the exact same thing as the guitar. And a lot of people do one or the other. They play it like it's a guitar, or they play it like it's a bass. And I think a lot of the really cool bass lines I've heard are ones that incorporate both, where you can hear how it's relating to the bass drum and you can hear how it's relating to the guitar part at the same time, or it goes from one to the other. And you kind of see the full potential of the instrument rather than seeing it just do one thing. Whoa, it's the police. Ruining my video. Or is that just a car alarm? Oh, it is the police. They're coming to take me away. I think it's done. No! What is the reason? I think we're good. Hopefully the video turns out all right. So yeah. Train of thought has been derailed. Bass guitar. But yeah, so you've got multiple roles that you can fill, and multiple roles that are equally important, that bass and that guitar, and the relationships there that you can really explore. And you can think about that when you're making lines. What role am I filling right now? And maybe I could explore a little bit in one direction or the other. Is this groove really locking in, or am I playing too much like a guitar right now to not? So maybe you haven't got the foundation that you really need, and you should maybe be playing less notes and more roots in order to service the song. Or maybe there is space that's going unfilled and it feels empty that way because you're too focused on just being that root. And if you can do both, then I think you can really find the magic of the instrument, and you can make a song, you can really elevate a song past what it could be because of that creativity and because you thought about that. Am I filling up the space, and am I gelling with the drums? And I just think it's interesting to think about whether or not it actually helps. It's kind of a cool thing, and I love the instrument for that it can fulfill different roles, and you have pretty great examples of people doing one or the other or doing both. And I think somebody like Billy Sheehan is an amazing example of playing it like a guitar, and things that you couldn't even imagine a bass is playing, he can do, because he's really explored that space and he's taken it to an extreme in that direction. And I think somebody like Paul Chambers is an amazing bassist, one of those things, that just does an amazing job of showing what the roots of the bass guitar are, because that's where it came from, is that. And you can kind of see what he did and how amazing he was in his relationship with Tony Williams and some of the other people he played with. Did he play with Tony Williams? I'm trying to sound smart. One of the Miles Davis drummers. I think Ron Carter played with Tony Williams. Anyway, Jazz Snobs Unite. Scream at me for being an idiot. This is more rambling than I've been in the past. Staring off into space is a good indication of an interesting YouTube video. There's a tip for you. Anyway, that's some stuff about that.